your assignment or you completed your selling things, then actually you can decide whether you want to continue to manage the Facebook page or you just stop that. Okay, so why we want that? Because later on we want you to do a Facebook Live. So if you have the Facebook page, it will be easier for you to do a Facebook Live for that.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the unit 8. We are going to look at a simple unit 8, and after that we're going to look at unit 9, management. So unit 8 is quite easy, quite simple. It's about risk, in which we are talking about how to manage the risk that faced by a company. Okay, apakah caranya untuk mengelakkan risiko? How to avoid it from happening? So first, you have to understand why do we need to do risk management? What is the purpose of doing risk management? You know the whole process of managing the risk and explain the different types of risk and risk reducing methods. So let's look at it one by one. So when we talk about risk management, there are three very important topics that we explain today. The first is the importance of risk management. The second is the risk management process, and third will be the type of risk that you are facing. So when we talk about risk, first of all, we have to understand what do we mean by risk. Apa maksudnya? What is the definition of risk? When you talk about risk, risk is always referred to the probability or the threat that might happen. Okay, ancaman yang mungkin akan muncul, or that might affect the company. That might affect the company. So what happens is if you have this. If you are trying to manage your risk, actually you are trying to reduce the problems that might happen in future. You are trying to reduce whatever problems that might happen in future. So when we say risk, risk is refers to something that might be happening, mungkin akan berlaku. So we say probability, it might be happening, so it might affect the company by making damage to the company, damaging some assets of the company, or injured the people or the customers, liabilities, hutang, that means debts of the company, or create other loss or other negative occurrence that is caused by, it can be internal or external risk that may be neutralized through preemptive action. So what we are trying to do with risk management is we try to avoid all these problems from happening. In another definition, when we try to define risk in business or business risk, we say business risk is any event or circumstances that has the potential to prevent you from achieving your business goals or objective. So it might create a problem to you and make you can't achieve your objective of a high profit, your objective of expanding the company, and so on. So when we talk about risk management, actually we are trying to avoid the risk or the problems or the injury from happening. So what we have trying to do is we try to identify. We want to see what are the risks, identify the risks, and try to reduce or overcome the risk. So when we do business, every time when we start our business, we start to think what are the possible problems that we might be facing that is sometimes out of our control. So risk sometimes is just accident that we don't want it to happen, but we have ways or we are thinking of how to avoid the accident, try to avoid it from happening. So when we talk about risk, remember we try to do risk management because we try to conserve our resources. So in another word, we want to take care of all our resources. It can be our money, financial resources. It can be our human resources. It can be our other type of assets that we want to protect it. So we want to protect our resources, sumber. So the second one is we want to protect the reputation and the corporate image. In another word, we want to make sure the image of the company is still good. For example, if the company have a very poor management and something happen, suddenly accident happen just inside the shop, then it will affect the reputation of the company. Not only loss to the company because of damage, but also reputation. People will say, "Oh, this company is not good. They are not protecting the people. Accident happening. All these are negative image. So we want to avoid negative image. Next, we want to prevent legal action. That means if something happen, then we might the company might bring to court by the people affected. So we want to avoid this from happening. For example, you look at cars. Recently, Honda cars they found out got some problems with their cars, right? So they call all the car owners who bought their car to bring the car back to service to check, and they will exchange a new parts, something new for us to make sure it's safe to drive. So why they want to do this? They are actually doing something like a risk management, because they know that if they do not solve the problem now, then some of the drivers who drive their car might caught into accident, and it might be loss of human life, it might be loss of money, and a lot of problems might happen. So people might go to the company, bring the Honda company to the court. Okay, so they want to sue the company. Okay, so they bring them to court. So it affects their name, the company image. Also, they might need to pay a big sum of money. Okay, so we call it this to pay for their mistake, to pay for what is happening. Okay, so they want to avoid this, avoid the payment of money just because of their mistake. Next, to protect against towards the people and environment, they want protection of the people and environment. So when you were in school, those days, still remember or not? When you were in high school, even in primary school, we have this fire exercise. Okay, every year maybe we have this fire exercise. Then the teacher will tell you if fire happen, okay, to burn our buildings, whatever, where can you run, where should you stand, where should you go if this happening. So why we do this risk management is because we want to protect against the protects the people against the risk of losing human life or losing the infrastructure kind of thing. So we want to protect people especially and the environment. And last, to enhance the capability to face the various circumstances. So if we are planning early to the possible risk that might happening, then it means that we are prepared to face this when this happen. So we are prepared. Okay. Besides, we try to avoid it. We are prepared. If this is happening, then what should we do? We know what to do next. So all the big companies, they have their own risk management, especially if your company is dealing with big lots of people, okay, many customers, big group of customers, then the risk management is so important. So they want to have a practice of risk management to avoid the loss of people and to make sure the workers in the company knowing what to do next. Okay, so when we talk about risk management, it's a process. We start with identify what are the business risks. So when we start doing a business, when you prepare your BMC, business model canvas, remember after the 9 areas, you have to prepare the business risk. So first thing you have to do is you have to know what are the possible risks that might happening to your company or to your business. So you might say, okay, if I'm doing selling something like food, Okay, if you are selling food, so you have to bear in mind some risk might happen if you are selling food. For example, food poisoning. Okay, due to the food is not fresh, or because you keep it too long, or what. So food poisoning. Another accident that might happen is when you take the knife, it's very sharp, you might accidentally cut yourself. Okay, this is small accident. And sometimes another risk of restaurant that always people give very careful is fire. Okay, sometimes the kitchen, because of their cooking too much, don't know what happened, then they caught fire. So these are some of the risks that might happen. So if we have this risk, then the next thing is we need to study and evaluate the risk. So out of for example, the 3 risks that I mentioned, then you have to see which one is the highest that possible happen to your company. The first one, okay, maybe you out of these 3, you will say, okay, the most dangerous or the highest possible to happen maybe is food poisoning. So number 1, food poisoning. Okay, number 2 maybe is the fire. Okay, incident of fire burning. Third maybe is an accident in the kitchen, somebody cut themselves. So these are the risks. After you know what are the risks, then you look at what can you do for every one of risks to avoid it from happening. So the next thing is you start to plan, what can I do to avoid this from happening, or to reduce the incident or the negative impact of this from affecting my companies. So what you can do is, some companies, they do buy insurance. They buy insurance, insurance for the workers. So they have this accident insurance for the workers. Some companies, they do buy fire insurance. This is one way. You buy insurance for the company. So second, some companies, they have these many ways to avoid the food poisoning from happening. For example, they make sure they have a standard way of doing, cleaning the product, cleaning the food, and then prepare it fresh. So they have a standard practice like SOP. Yeah, we have something like SOP, standard practice. So they have standard. Okay, they will say, okay, if food that already cooked, we cannot keep it more than 12 hours, for example. For the cooked food that is not cooked, we have to put it in the fridge before it is cooked. For example, they have that standard practice. So we have to plan, what can we do to avoid this from happening. And then after the planning, then we make sure everyone knows what to do next. For example, if you have a standard practice to avoid food poisoning from happening, okay, to avoid this keracunan makanan from happening, then you make sure all the workers working in the kitchen, they know this. Okay, all of them in the kitchen, they know this. They know what to do next. And last, you have to evaluate and control your effectiveness. So after some time, you have to check whether your workers are following your standard or not, your practice or not, or your workers are following your instructions or not. And then if they are not following instruction, what can you do? You can do training. You train them, you tell them what to do, you teach them how to be more concerned with food poisoning, how to avoid to accident happen in the kitchen, how to avoid fire from burning in the kitchen. So you have to do evaluation and control and make sure if they are not doing good enough, then you give them training again. So evaluation is very important. If after evaluation you find out you need to improve the whole process, then you can start again. Okay, you can start from the beginning again. So sometimes when your company become bigger, you have new branches, your company expand, then you might need to have a new process. Or sometimes because you are doing different things, you find that what you are doing now is not good enough, so you need to improve it. So you start from the beginning again. You start to identify the risk again, evaluate what is the most seriously affected risk. Okay, which risk is the most serious and must be treated, and after that you go through the whole process again. So this is the simple process, but it's very important, I say, to protect your workers, your staff, your customers from being hurt or facing accident, and at the same time to protect the resources. It can be your financial resources, your other type of resources, your assets in the company. And so when we talk about the type of business risk, we have many. And of course, it depends on what type of companies. You might have different type of risks. For example, you have financial risk, which you have very little cash level. When you have this, you are facing this financial risk. Okay, when I say financial risk, remember we talk about risk like you cannot pay your debts, hutang. You cannot pay your debts on time. This is one problem. You don't have enough cash. Some companies, they have big assets, but they don't have enough cash to pay the assets. So this is one problem. Financial risk. Sometimes financial risk is you want money to buy the raw materials, but you find that you have very little money. So this is one of the problems. So how to solve it? Next, compliance and regulatory risk. Compliance means you follow the standard. Like now government have this SOP. For all the shops, you have this SOP. So you have to follow this SOP. And if you don't follow this SOP, the government might come forward and summon you. And the recent one is, if you follow the news, one small little store, burger store, being summoned 50,000. Okay, 50,000 is not a small amount of money. It's a very big amount of money. But actually, he already closed his shop. But because he is still in that shop and preparing something, so it's look like he's still doing the business. So that's why people might want to summon them. Okay, the government, the local authorities might want to come and summon them. So remember, these are the risks that we might be facing if we are doing business. So one of the questions that we have to ask is, how are we going to solve this or avoid this from happening? This is one of the problem. And then next is we have operational risk. So operational risk, this is related to our operation. So sometimes our operation is having problems because of workers or because of our technology not good. So our quality of products is so bad. So all these are the problems that we are facing. It might be due to we didn't train our workers training not enough, raw material not good enough, so bad quality with our products. So what can we do next? So these are the risks. Next, strategic risk. Strategic risk is when we do our business, we might face lots of future planning. We have to plan for future. But when we are planning for future, we might face some problems like competitors. We might face some other problems. So these are our future risks or strategic risks. Risks with how to do the business as a whole. And we might have other risks. For example, the environment. Sometimes this is really external factors, environment. So suddenly the economy becomes so bad. Suddenly we are facing pandemic. So these are the risks that we never encounter or never even think of. Okay, a pandemic that affect all of us, then make all of us must stay at home during the first MCO. So if this is the problem, then what can we do? Okay, so what can we do? So that's why we have to know these are some of the risks. Some of these risks are internal. For example, operational risks are internal. Okay, financial risks are internal. The compliance to the regulation also more to internal. Okay, but some other risks are external, like the environmental risks. These are external, or the competitors. These are external. So you have to know there are some risks some risks are internal, and we can control and we can solve. But at the same time, we might be facing risks that are external. So we have to think of how to solve it and how to reduce the problem from happening. Okay, next we are looking at if you have a risk, beside you have a strategy to solve it, like you have a fire escape plan. Okay, we have some example like fire escape plan. Okay, or plan to avoid accident from happening. Sometimes we also have what we call contingency plan. Contingency plan is a plan to overcome the risk or to avoid the risk from occurring. So we call this as plan B. So when you start to do you want to propose your PMC, like I say, okay, you can propose that, okay, you want to sell t-shirt. Then after some time, when you go to do market survey, you might find that selling t-shirt at the moment is not not profitable, or because of some other problems you can't do it. So that's why you go for your plan B. Plan B is, instead of selling t-shirt, what are you selling? So instead of selling t-shirt, you might say, I want to sell like other things other than t-shirt. For example, something that we wear, like a necklace, accessories that is cheap that we wear, or even you can sell handbags or other cases, other bags that instead of selling t-shirt. So these are the second plan, the plan of selling other things or doing other things. This is what we normally say is plan B. Okay, plan B. So for risk management, this is very simple. This is all about risk management. And next, I'm going to talk about is I will touch a little bit about management, business management. So I will change the slide first before I go to business management slide. But before I continue with my business management slide topic, any questions you want to ask? All right, looks like you don't have a question at the moment. Yes.
I want to I want to ask about the contingency plan. For the things that we choose to replace for plan A, right? We should be under the same, like if I go for cosmetic, then I need to choose something cosmetic, or I go with the business practicum, like I go for like take order and delivery. I can change from selling beauty products to like um selling other things.
Okay, if you ask me this question in a very, very early stage, like just after your presentation or PMC, you want to change your to plan B, then I will say you can change totally a different industry. But provided when you write your business model canvas report, when you write your report, you have to write according to the new product. So is you can in the very early stage, that means before you even submit your PMC, you after your presentation, you want to change, it's okay. Okay, it's okay. So you can change, but provided your PMC, you can change it accordingly. So you can change from selling, for example, lipstick to selling scarf or accessories. Okay, two different things. But now I expect you already submit your BMC report kan. If you already submit your BMC report, then if you want to change, I will say I allow small changes. That means that, for example, you are selling accessory before that, for example, cosmetic before that. From lipstick, you are selling other type of cosmetics product. Small changes will do. Okay, small changes, I have no problems with that. But if you want to change it to a totally different industry, it will be too difficult. Then maybe you need to change the whole thing again. It will be too difficult for you. So I only allow small changes. It's better for you to stick on the original one if you can. But if you can't, you still want to change, you can change, but to a similar industry better.
Doctor, I'm just asking about it's like okay, all right. I
Okay.
understand, doctor.
Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. All right. Who knows? Maybe you really, if you really face a problem, you really feel that you need to change, you let me know. But I will help you to see what are the changes you need to do. But it's good that if you already start your business, you don't change. Yeah. Okay. And so now today we are looking at management unit, but we are looking at the first part of management only. We are not going to look at this in very not everything. We just look at the first part of this unit 9 management, in which management is the basic concept of business management. So when we say management, actually management is related to many different functions. And when we say financial management, actually financial management is also based on business management. Okay, pengurusan. So pengurusan can be the management of people, human resources management, the management of money, financial management, the management of operation of the company. So we call it operation management. Okay, so we have many different types of management. And this management, when we say business management, the four POLC, the four functions, this actually, the four functions are the basic of management. So that's why when you talk about risk management, you start with planning first. You also plan. You plan, after that you organize, you arrange what to do. After you arrange what to do, you use your leadership to influence people to do the management, and last, evaluation and control. Actually, you go through the four process. If you talk about risk management, same thing. If you do financial management, also you plan. Okay, I have this. What the things I need to do, and you plan how much money I need. Then you organize the money carefully, and then you arrange the spending of money, leadership, so people will spend the money carefully. So you need your leadership to manage and control, and last, you check, you evaluate whether you achieve your goal or not. So the management functions, the four management functions, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, actually is the basic of all other types of management, included risk management, financial management, human resources management, and operation management. So when we talk about 21st century challenges, we are facing a lot of challenges. Let's look at it. So business management, when we say management, is the process that involves the use of resources to achieve the objectives or the target of the company. So if you have certain resources, or you have human resources, you have financial resources, you need to plan to use it carefully to achieve your certain objectives or goal. And at the same time, when we say the word business, we refers to any kind of activities, economic activities that involve the distribution, the selling of product and services to fulfill the needs or to make the customer happy. Okay, people are willing to buy the product and services. However, remember, management is not only for business. Management is important for all kinds of organization, included the non-profit organization. Okay, so for example, for a university, we need a good management to make sure the university is being run well. For organization, like the different type of organizations, organizations to help the local people, like the or the organization that is big, like the World WWF, okay, World Wildlife Fund. This sort of organization also, they need a good management. So all sort of organization also need a good management. When we talk about management, remember, when we talk about business, this is the fact. There are many companies being established, being set up every year, okay, throughout the years, okay, throughout the world. And even during this 2020, okay, 2020, so also we find that there are many companies being set up. One of the reasons is when people cannot find a job, when people lost their job because of no tourism, okay, when people facing a lot of trouble, then they start to think of setting up their new companies. When they set up the new companies, they are facing a risk, success or fail. Fail actually is a risk of all the companies, not only big companies, okay, small company, big companies, all are facing the possible risk of fail. So a company that is success from, they will expand from small to medium companies, and then they can grow even to large corporation in Malaysia or in the world. So we can be, the companies can grow to be a very large organization, corporation in a world-class company. So if you look at all these companies like Google, Dell, Electronics, Body Shop, Facebook, all these, they start from very small, but due to the drive and patience of the entrepreneurs, they start to create something from the company, then they become very big companies. And we have so many this sort of companies in Malaysia. They start from small and they grow to be very big. And one of the reasons why some company not successful actually is because of the weakness in management. Okay, so if the management is not functioning well, if the company is not operate in the good way, then okay, the company will not success. So a good management and good operation system will help to avoid the company from failure. Of course, there are many reasons why some new companies, small companies, or even big companies fail. But one of the main reasons of this company fail is because of management. They are weak in management, especially some of the company owners. They are not from the business background, but they are trying to do their business. So they need to learn from many ways to expand their business. So they need to learn, okay, and so that's why I keep on saying a good management is one of the key to success. So when I say management functions, remember we refers to P or LC. So start from the word planning. So when we want to do management, when we want to manage people, manage the money, manage the resources, manage the risk, we need to do planning first, the first step. So planning actually is the process of setting up our goals and then formulating activities that needs to be done to achieve the goal. So we set our objective, what we want to do, and after that, we start to set our strategies, step by step, what we have to do to achieve the goal. For example, if one company wanted to expand the business, so the first objective, expand the business. Okay, with this objective, then they start to plan. Okay, to expand my business, what do I need to do? So first step may be to find a new market. Okay, and then to second, maybe to sell to this new market. Maybe you need to produce new products for the new market. If you are going to sell into new market, and new products needed. So new market in the new product. Then after that, you need to know what are the workers, who are the workers you need to do the training, all sort of things. Everything related with your objectives to expand your business. So after that, you organize the works to do. Okay, for example, marketing department will in charge of producing a new product, okay, or designing a new product for sale. And then the human resources department will do the training of the people. Okay, they will train people how to deal with customers in the new market. Okay, and another group of people, promotional team, they will need to know how to do promotion, prepare the promotion for the product and service in the new market. So after that, we have other things to do support, for example, delivery. Okay, a team to do delivery operation and so on. So we need to organize who are going to do each type of work or things. And then after that, after we arrange, then we need a good leader. So we need leader to lead. When we say leading means we have a good leader, and leader will tell the workers what to do next. So leaders, actually, what we are wanted is in management is we try to influence other people to work in the way that can help to achieve the goal of the company. So this is the leading, and last will be the controlling. When I say controlling, it will be we check our performance, we evaluate our performance, and then we want to decide whether we achieve our goal or not. If we didn't achieve our goal, then what can we do next? So controlling is very important when we want to check our performance and then take actions to do. So we will start to look at planning first, the first function. Planning, from the word plan, it means that we have to decide what to do next. So in the planning is always the first step of management. So when we set planning, it means that we have to set the objectives or the goals of the company first. After that, we decide what activities we need to do to achieve that goal. So when we set planning, all the companies, you will notice we have the vision of the company. We also have missions of the company. And after that, we will set the objectives of the company. So this is the first part of planning. And the second part of planning is we set what are the activities, or we decide what are the main activities to achieve the objectives or the mission or the vision. So plannings actually have two main components. First part is the goal of the companies, goal in terms of vision and objectives. Second part will be the strategy or the plan that relate to how to achieve the objectives or the planning of the company. So what are the importance of planning? Why do we need to do planning? Since we are doing so many things, why do we need to do planning? First, because by doing planning, actually we're trying to forecast, or we're trying to predict what might happen in future. Okay, planning actually is trying to forecast or trying to predict what might happen, and from this we will decide what to do next. And second is we try to face the uncertainties that happen. So by planning, actually we think of what are the risks, what are the problems that might happening, and we try to solve it before the problems from happening. Next, this is very important to determine the business direction. So when I say vision of the company is for everybody working in the company, they should know what the vision of the company. Same thing with the mission. So everyone in the companies everybody in the company must know the vision, mission, and objectives of the company, so that we know what the companies want to achieve, and what should we do to achieve this direction. For example, let's look at UMS. Okay, so UMS, we have our vision, we have our mission, and we have our objective. So in the vision, actually one of the main thing is we are trying to create a holistic education environment within that vision. You can see that we want to be a university not only to do teaching only. We want to do research, training. We can be a research university one day. Okay, so that is our objective. Then after that, the people will be given objectives. Okay, mission and objectives. For example, in UMS we call it KPI. Okay, KPI, key performance index. Many companies they also call it key performance index. So KPI. So for example, as a worker, then we have to do this and this and this. For example, as a lecturer, okay, as a lecturer, we have to do research, one of the objective. Okay, do how many research in a year. Then second, we need to do teaching, because part of our main job is teaching and learning. So teaching, how many hours per semester, per year. Okay. Third, we also have to remember we need to do writing. Okay, writing of publication, for publications. So writing. Next, after writing, we talk about conference. That means sharing of your knowledge with other people's. Or we have seminars and talk. All these are the objectives. So all the workers with this qualification, or all the lecturers in these universities, should know the objectives. And so if everybody work together, then we create a good environment, and then the company will achieve the target. So for example, we go back to the example of UMS. So if all the lecturers in UMS have a good writing article for publication, okay, we publish articles. Then if all of us have public articles, if let's say we have 800 staffs in UMS, 800 of us publish articles. So it means that we have 800 articles published by UMS. Then with all this knowledge published from UMS, actually can help to build up a good university. Then next time you can be very proud with your friends. You can say, oh, my university now become famous because of publication, because of this and this and this. Okay, so the objectives determined from planning is very important. It will influence all the workers to work hard towards the same direction. And then so another important part of planning actually is to motivate, not only affect but motivate the workers to work hard, and motivate or affect other management functions. For example, the operation management, they have to work towards the plan, the main objective. Okay, the financial manager also, he has to work towards the objective. The marketing manager also know what to do next. And last, this objective is actually to help us to evaluate the company performance, to let us know is the company performing well. So if we already set this target, if we have this target, then one day, every end of the year, we can compare our performance with our target. Do we achieve our target or not? If we achieve our target, it means that we achieve our performance is good. If we achieve our target, if we didn't achieve our target, then something might happen. Then we need to know we have to do something to solve our problems. It might be problems in our companies that affect the business from achieving the target. So when we talk about strategic management process, right? So like I say, you need to set target first. But before you need to set target, make sure you know the environment of the company as well. So most of the time when we have the target, we also look at what are the current mission and goal and strategies of the company at the moment. What are the current mission? What are happening now? Okay, what are the things that we have now, or objectives now, and strategy now? Then we also look at the external and internal environment. So we look at what are the external factors that affect us from the outside of the company, external. So we call it factors affect us from outside of the company. For example, the social economy, the politics, the government, the community, social community. These are external factors that might affect the company. But at the same time, we also look at the internal factors. So when we talk about internal factors, actually we talk about people inside the companies, the problem, the operation of the companies, the financial condition of the companies, the knowledge from the company, and so on. So internal factors are the factors inside the company. After we look at both current situation and scan or evaluate, analysis the internal and external environment, then we determine the main most important factors, okay, strategic factors. It can be internal factors, it can be external factors that might affect our companies. So in this case, in the third step, actually, we are looking at what are the factors that affect us the most. If you are doing business in year 2020, 2021, then you know one of the factors that affect us the most is actually the SOP by the government. Suddenly the government say, okay, you cannot open your shop until 12 o'clock. You have to close your shop by 10 o'clock. Then you have to follow the standard, close your shop by 10 o'clock. If the company say, okay, the government say SOP, new SOP say, oh, now everyone, before they go into your shop, you have to scan their body temperature. So these are the things that you must follow. So you need to know the external factors. But at the same time, you look at your internal factor. For example, how about your people? Are they ready for the changes? Okay. How about do you have financial resources to do the changes? All these are the factors that you have to identify. What are the main important factors that you can see and you have to solve at the moment? And after that, now you determine, this is the first step. Okay, you determine the plan by determining the objective first, the goal of the company. So when I say goal can be objectives, goal can be vision or mission of the company. When I say the word goal, objective actually is one example of goals. Okay, objective actually is one examples of a goal. So it's slightly different. And we also determine the strategies or what should we do. What are the plan we have to do? And next step is we identify the strategy for every part of the companies. Strategy for the whole company, a big strategy. Strategy for one department, okay? Strategy for certain functions, a team. So we have different type of strategies. And then last, we implement the strategies. Actually, after we implement, remember, actually, we should look at it back and we analyze it again, actually. Analyze it and we determine what happened next. So actually, this is not one way, but it's a circle also. This process actually is a circle as well. So, and at the same time, when you look at when people working, if you heard people talk about KPI, when you heard people talk about sales target, or your target, what you call target target of certain things when people are working. If you have experience in working, if you are working at the selling things, you heard of people talking about sales target. Okay, if you're working for certain things, sometimes you have the target to complete this job by some time. Okay, for example, by end of June, the target is complete this job by end of June. Or other type of target, like I explained to you just now, like a lecturer, they have the target. Okay, target of writing how many articles a year. Writing of target. Another target is doing research. Another target is going to conference. Oh, these are the targets. So we set targets because setting targets can be a way to manage people, and it can be a way to motivate people. So the way of manage by using objectives or target, actually we call it MBO, management by objectives. Management by objectives is a method of management. Okay, it's a method to manage the people to achieve the objective or the goal of the company. So when we have management by objective, remember we set the goals for the whole organization. Okay, the goal for the corporate, the goal of the small department, and the goal of the individual. So if I say for example, a department, sales department in a company, okay, we have 10 person, then each one of them, the 10% should have this different objective or goal that they have to achieve. Okay, so for example, I have one company that is selling, for example, t-shirt, one corporation that is selling t-shirt. So the target of the company actually is they want to sell maybe to sell a new products, okay, new products. So this is the main goal, the big goal of the company. So for one department, for example, the sales department must look at the corporate objective. So they look at, oh, this company objective is to sell a new product. So our objective is to make sure we sell how many units of this new product. For example, 1,000 units. So the department might decide they want to sell 1,000 units of a t-shirt. Then if this this department to sell 1,000 units have 10 workers who do the selling. So they might divide the job. Okay, each one of you selling 100 units of t-shirt. So everyone have the objectives to achieve, and this objective must be based on according to the company, the business objective. So individual objective must be set based on the departmental objective, and departmental objective is set based on the big corporate objective. After we set up the objective, then we develop the plan, and then we make people to work carefully to achieve the plan. So after that, we review the progress. We review, are they working according to the plan? Do they achieve the plan? For example, I have 10 workers in this department selling t-shirt. Maybe one person selling 100 units, the first person, okay? Okay, then the second person selling only 90 units. Then we know maybe he has problem. Okay, then we look at the third person selling a lot, maybe 150 units. He's the winner, third person maybe. He sell a lot, 150 units. So we want to know why certain people can sell a lot, another worker cannot sell, only 90 units or 80 units. Then we need to find out what are the problems. Maybe he is only selling 80 units because he doesn't know how to sell, how to do the promotion, he doesn't know. So what can you do next? Collection, okay, collective action. So it means that we give them training. If he doesn't know how to sell because of he lack of the skills, he doesn't know how to do promotion, we give them training. We ask the workers who can sell more to give training to share their experience. That's one way. Okay, or we give them more commission to encourage them to sell more. So we have to look for ways to collect it. So we cannot say, oh, if you cannot sell 100 units immediately, we don't want you to work. We cannot say that. We have to do something, collection, okay? We help to solve the problems. Sometimes after you do this, then his performance will increase. Then he can achieve 100 units. Before this, he only can sell 80 units. And after the training, After giving extra commission, he can sell more than that. So after that, by the end of the year, normally we have to appraise after 1 year, the objective, we have to appraise, or in another word, we check the performance, we evaluate the performance after 1 year. Okay, so we look at the performance. If all of us achieve the objective, that means all the 10% achieve the objectives, then it means that the department also achieved the objectives, and the corporation's objective also being achieved to a certain extent already. Okay, so when we appraise the performance, those who are achieving or even doing better, we give them maybe some return. So we give them like special commission, we give them bonus, or we give them a special travel trip. We give them something, okay, to show that they are doing better than people. For those who are weak, then we might need to do something also. After training also, okay, out of the 10%, after training, maybe only 1% still have problem. So we have to see what can he improve himself? What happened to him? Can he improve himself after 1 year, 2 years? So if the problems is still happening, maybe it's his personal problem. If this is the case, we might ask him to leave the company. Maybe he really cannot do. Okay, but we still will give him many chances. Maybe after 5 years, 10 years, he still cannot do that. Only we tell him you have to find a new job. All right. So the purpose of management by objective is we set objectives to everyone in the organization, everyone in the company, and then with these objectives, we want them to work hard to achieve the objectives. And then, of course, we hope that they can achieve it a good performance. Okay? If they don't achieve, we do something to help them, training, or we give them something to help them to achieve. Right? So that is the purpose of management by objective. So like I say, when we do planning, the first step is we have to set up the objectives or the goal of the company first. So first, we should have vision. Vision is the highest. Vision, then only mission. Vision is the long-term, very long-term objectives of the company. For example, the company say we want to be international companies, but it's a very small company with 10%. But he say, vision of my company is we want to be international company that's selling T-shirt and accessory, for example. Vision, also a very big vision that they want to achieve it after maybe 10 or 20 years only you can achieve. But you can think, you can aim for big. So that is what we call vision. So mission will say, okay, to achieve my target, I want to do, we want to be a company that is with ethics. We want to sell quality products, quality T-shirt, nice and beautiful accessories. So you define in more detail what you want to do, okay, in your mission statement. But mission statement still can be a quite long-term thing. Okay, for example, you want to sell, we produce quality product for sale. So when you say quality product for sale, this can be a long-term thing. Okay, not only quality product for sale today, but quality product for sale in the long term. Okay, when you say we produce nice, beautiful, and affordable accessory for sale, so this is still long term. But when we come to strategic goals should be long term, but it can be 1 to 2 years. Okay, strategic goal. So strategic goal will be more detailed. So strategic goal of this year maybe is for example, you want to plan to come out with a new good quality T-shirt this year. Okay, long-term planning. New type of T-shirt with new type of new brand. Okay, new brand name for this new type of T-shirt, for example. So this is long-term planning, but it's about 1 to 2 years. You will set in more detail. Okay, And who is setting this objective? This is by the senior manager. So when we say senior manager, it can be the general manager, pengurus besar, okay, or the director, pengarah, okay, the main director, the managing director, sometimes you call it. So these are the people at the top, okay, the people at the top. So they will set long-term objectives, but in more detail. And this objective is not only for one department, but the whole company, for all of the people in the company. So everybody in this company selling t-shirt will know, okay, we need to come out with a new brand name, new type of t-shirt, new brand name within 2 years, for example. And after we set the strategic goal, then we have tactical goals. Okay, so this is maybe 1 year planning and set by middle manager. So middle manager, for example, the marketing manager will start the planning of a design of new brand name, new t-shirt. Okay, maybe. So the operation manager for their operation, their department, they will set, we need planning to buy new t-shirt, new machine to produce the new t-shirt. So their planning is they want to come up with a new machine to produce the new t-shirt, or new machine to produce the new accessories, or anything. Okay, while the human resource manager, maybe they need to prepare to get new workers to work in the other department. So all the different department, okay, all the different department in the company, like financial, marketing, operation, human resource, they have their plan based on the top one. Okay, they have the plan for their department. And last, the lowest will be the small, very small department or team, or individual. They have a short-term planning. For example, they have the planning like 6-month planning. Sometimes it will be longer, but sometimes they have short-term planning. For example, they plan, okay, we come out with a sample of t-shirt by June. Okay, we come up with a new sample of accessory by June. And then after that, we need to do a market research in the second half of 2021. We do a market research and we get the results. So everyone will know what to do next based on the plans they get it from the middle manager. So the marketing manager decide what to do next, and everybody in the team or in the small department will decide what to do next. Okay, they know what they want to do next. So this is the planning process. So when we say mission statement, like I say, mission statement is based on vision statement. So for the strategic goal or plan, the strategic goal or plan should be future and as a whole company, okay, for all of the people in the company. And then it can be action step or blueprint. Sometimes we call it a strategic plan for the company in a year. For example, strategic plan of UMS from year 2021 until 2025, for example. Okay, so we have a plan that is 5 years. It can be 5 years plan. Then tactical plan. So tactical goal, you have to write down the outcome to achieve in certain year. So all the departments, every department will have a certain plan themselves that's suitable with each of the department. And we have operational goals and plan. So for operational goal, very, very specific, like I say, they will say, we want to come out with one sample by June. We have to do market research and get the result of market research in December. So we have very specific results and very specific, very clear what are the things that we want to do. Okay, not only you say, oh, we want to have a new brand, but you say, okay, we want to have a new design of t-shirt, we want to come up with new sample, we want to do this and do that in very detailed, very clear steps. So, oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so when we set up the goals, remember this is the characteristic or how to set up a good type of goal. The goal must be specific. For example, you say our company is a company that is selling accessories. So if you say just accessories, people might have questions. So you need to be more specific. Okay, for example, you might say women's accessories. Okay, women accessories to the local market, to the Malaysia market. So this is more specific, very clear. You know, women accessories, accessories wear by ladies, and you want to sell it in Malaysia, for example. Okay, specific, measurable. That means you can measure it. So you say, we want to achieve it. We want to have a new brand name. So measurable. If you have the new brand, then it's successful already. If you don't say something that is measurable, you can measure, then very hard for people to know how much to achieve. For example, I will say for the sales department, you need to sell 100 units of t-shirt every month. Okay, 100 units of t-shirt every month. So this is measurable. 100 unit. Okay, you have quantities, something to measure. You are not only saying, oh, you have to sell t-shirts. Okay, if you say, just say you have to sell t-shirt, people doesn't know how many t-shirts to sell. But if you say, we want you to sell 100 units of t-shirt, then he knows how many to sell within that period. And next, A for attainable. Attainable means achievable, can be achieved. So when you set the target, you say 100 units for one worker within 1 month. Okay, you have to think whether the worker can sell 100 units or not. Possible or not. If you say not possible lah, people only buy a little bit, I think sell 50 also very hard, not possible. If the target or objective is something that totally not achievable, not possible, then this is not a good objective. A good objective should be something that people can achieve. For example, selling 100 units of t-shirt, people can achieve, then this is attainable. This is a good objective already. Next, realistic, same thing, something based on what happening now. Realistic, can sell or not? Can. Okay, realistic. In this market, yes, people likes to buy t-shirt. In some market, people doesn't like to buy t-shirt, then you cannot sell. But in market that people can likes to buy t-shirt, this is realistic. And normally we should have certain time. Like you say, you can see the objectives. We always say we want to achieve this by certain period of time. We want to do this within what certain period of time. Okay, and so when we look at this, remember just now we only look at mission objectives, right, and the KPI. Okay, actually, like I keep on saying, on top of mission we have vision. On top of mission we have vision. So vision is to explain the company purpose in line with the company values. Okay, so that means that on top of vision we have values, we have beliefs, we have ethics, etika perniagaan. So we have certain beliefs and values. For example, certain shops they have these certain values. For example, body shop, they have certain values. Okay, they want to have for example, for body shop they say free from animal testing. Okay, so this is their beliefs or their values. So other company selling t-shirt might say we want good quality products. We only sell good qualities, but maybe affordable products. So the value is they emphasize on qualities and affordable. These are the qualities or the principles of the companies that we need to know. Then only we decide the vision of the company. So the vision actually is the purpose that telling where are we going, what do we aspire to achieve, what are our hope and ambition. Like I say, we want to be one international company. You can have big vision, very big vision, and slowly you achieve it. So mission is to explain vision, and we have a time frame to achieve. We tell you when to achieve it. And so mission actually tell you what do we do, who do we do it for. So we give you motivation and purpose. And while for strategic objectives, I say very specific. Then you tell him to achieve within certain period of time, maybe 1 year or 5 years, but normally not too long. And with the plan, the goals, and even tell you what are the important steps to do, and last, the action and KPIs. This is the objectives of KPIs for every one individual in the company. So they do need to know what do they have to do, what are the things that they have to do, and how do we do it. Okay, so let's look at one example from telecom. For example, telecom, the vision of telecom is to be a world-class telecommunication company providing total customer care. World-class company. So whether world-class or not now, you know, all right. So still telecom is more local than international company, but they are trying to achieve this. So this vision, maybe they need to achieve it, and they only can achieve it maybe 10 or 20 years later. They didn't say when, but they will say we want to be a world-class telecommunication company. So they tell you the value. Okay, in the vision, normally they tell you the value. The value is they want customer care. So they want to have a good customer service. This is their value. Okay, that they say in the vision. While for the mission, you can see they say provide total customer satisfaction as we strive to become a world-class telecommunication company. So how they do it? Customer satisfaction. Make sure the customer are happy, satisfied, puas hati, satisfied, puas hati with our service. So next, they will say we achieve this through developing our people, product, service of the high quality, while meeting the needs of our nation, employees, and shareholders. So they have this is more like mission. Okay, of course they have the strategic objectives that we didn't include in detail, but by looking at this, you can see the vision is bigger. Okay, on top of the mission, and it tell you the value of the companies. While mission will tell you what they want to do, how they do it, by providing customer service, customer satisfaction. Achieve this using what method? So this is the examples. All right. Just now, when we look at the before we even decide our objectives, actually we need to analyze the internal and external environment of the company. Okay, when we analyze the internal environment, remember we are analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of the company. So strength is kekuatan syarikat, weaknesses kelemahan syarikat. So we look at the strengths of the companies by looking at the internal factors. Okay, for example, what are the factors that we can use? These are the factors that we can use to sell more products, to expand our business. And weakness, remember, is the weaknesses of the internal, the company itself. So it can be we are weak in terms of we don't have experience. Our weaknesses in terms of we don't know how to do this and that. So weaknesses. And at the same time, for SWOT analysis, we look at the external factors, the opportunities, peluang, and the threats, ancaman. So peluang is external factors that favorable, that we like, okay, good factors, okay, factors that we like, that help the company to expand the business. Like if you still remember the video clip, I show you the video clip about the Uber business, okay. One of the opportunities that they have is the GPS technology, okay, the technology of using GPS to determine your location, and then they can pick you up from your location. So for the Uber business, they get the opportunities from the changing in the technology. So this allowed them to expand the business. Same thing. What are the possible problems that might happen? Ancaman. For example, when you look at the pandemic, when the shops are told to close during the MCO, semasa PKP, we have to close all the shops except for certain shops only can open. So it affects the business. Sorry. It affects the business in short term and long term. So this is the example. We have the strength, for example, quality products, lower price. These are some of the examples. Relationship with suppliers, marketing skills, brand name. How about the weaknesses of the companies? For example, we don't have the skill, we don't have the technology. People can do better than us because they have the technology. We don't have. So production costs, no experience, no capital, or even we don't have good workers, also our weaknesses. How about opportunities? For example, when the economy is good, income increase, this is our opportunity. Government support from the various government funds that support the people. Economic situations improve. New technology, health conscious consumers. These are examples. Like for example, now because of the pandemic, the consumers become more conscious with health. We want to take care of our health, okay, kesehatan. So when we are more concerned with our health, then people might want to take more better food, take supplements. So it might be good factors for some companies. How about ancaman, threats? For example, competitors, substitutes, pengganti product, okay, pengganti. So instead of they use this product, they can buy other products to use from other people. New competitors or competitions. Suddenly a new shop open next to your shop, selling similar things like you. Raw materials, not enough. Raw materials and economy problems. Sometimes economy is a big problem. It might be a threat, ancaman, but sometimes it might be a opportunity. So depends on your companies. All right, so when we look at opportunities and strength together, when we put opportunity, peluang, and strength, kekuatan together, so we have this S of strategy. So we are using internal strength to take advantage of external opportunities. When we have weaknesses, but at the same time we have opportunities, then we have to take advantage of the opportunities to solve our weaknesses. For example, the weaknesses of the company is they don't have the experience in doing business. They don't have experience. Okay, they don't know how to do marketing, how to do promotion. They don't have experience. But certainly, the government provide free training for promotion, or some agency provide you with advice on how to do promotion. So these are external. Government or agency give you externals, and with your weaknesses, so the opportunities help you to solve your weaknesses. And how about threats and strength? So if you have strength, you can overcome the threats. For example, got competitors, but your product is good qualities. Even though got competitors, you still win in the competition. For example, when you look at the car industries, we look at local make cars. For example, you compare Perodua and Proton. Okay, so now we can see a Proton with new investment from China. Okay, new investment from China. So they have more capital. They get more technology, maybe from the China. So new technology for China. So this become a competition to Peluang Dua. Okay, persaingan, competition to Peluang Dua. So still Peluang Dua, maybe they still can compete in the market because they still have the internal strength, kekuatan dalaman. So still they can sell their products. Maybe because the brand name is still well known. Okay, jenama terkenal. Okay, for example, Peluang Dua in Malaysia is still quite famous. Okay, or because they have a better reputation. Okay, better reputations. Also, maybe their product is better. So all those are the strength, and this can help them to overcome, mengatasi risiko persaingan. Okay, so next is this is the worst case, weakness plus threat, kelemahan dan ancaman berlaku pada masa yang sama. So if you have kelemahan dan ancaman, weakness and threats happen at the same time, then what we can do is we try to minimize both. Okay, for example, our weakness is we have a high price, and at the same time we have competitors selling similar products. Okay, our price, our cost is high, our price is high, our limit, our weakness also. Okay, price very high, and at the same time we have competitors selling this. So how to avoid that? How avoid these two problems to stop us from selling? So we have to think of that. So maybe we can sell to other products, sell to other customers, and other methods. So we have to think of how to solve our problems. Okay, internal and external problems at the same time. Okay, so when we are doing planning, actually we are facing a lot of problems in planning. For example, planning wastes a lot of time in management, especially sometimes the planning will take me 2 or 3 months, for example, to plan. Okay, to plan. So how to reduce the problems in wasting time? So what we can do is we get more people to involve in the planning. When more people, we have more comments, then we can think of better ways to do things. So we can reduce the planning time. That is why we get a meeting. We plan everything in meeting together, and we get everybody to give advice, to do suggestions. So this will help us to reduce our time in planning. Next, unsuitability of plan due to a changing environment. So, like all of a sudden, the environment change. Like in this year, suddenly you were told, oh, you cannot go back to school. Suddenly you were told you have to stay at home. So what can we do? So we have to plan that flexibility, and we have to willing to change our plan. We cannot say I have to follow the standard ways of doing things. We have to change according to the environment. And last, when implementing the plan, when you try to work your plan, when you try to do your plan, then you might find problems. So when you have problems in working the plan, your workers do not want to follow the plan. What can you do? Then you need a good leadership to influence your workers to follow your plan and to control them. Okay, so the leadership plan and the contouring plan is very important as well. Okay, so that's all for the planning part, and I will stop here for today. I will stop here. Do you have any questions about this? Ada soalan tak tentang pengurusan risiko dan pengurusan perniagaan, planning especially?
All clear, Doctor.
Okay, good. Just a reminder again to students who didn't fill in your attendance. I post it in the chat room again. Please fill in your attendance again. Okay, if you really cannot come for due to certain reason you cannot attend the class, please write in or give your MC lah if you have the MC, or if you are sick, you let me know. Okay. All right. So far I have, let me check. So far I have how many already filled in? Okay, 71, 71% already fill in. So more than 10% not yet fill in. All right, so for your poster and video, group teaser video and group poster, please submit as soon as possible by 7th of May. All right, by 7th of May. Okay, so if you have no questions, then before I stop, let me stop presenting first, and let us okay, can you on your camera? Let us take just a simple photo together, group photo together. One person, 2%, anyone else? Yeah, just on your camera then. At least I can see who is here. Okay, good. Yeah. Lagi, anyone else? Okay. Okay, give me a big smile before I take. Okay. Okay, I just print screen. Later on, I will keep this in record. Okay, so to all of you who are celebrating the Hari Raya very soon, a happy Hari Raya. Okay, so yeah, thank you for attending the class today. Thank you very much. If you have question, you can ask later. All right, we will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.